Cram. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my live tonight. I am working with the one-of-a-kind bundle from Stampin' Up, and it is more of a winter icy theme using blues, silvers, and whites. We had our first class on Monday, and this is going to be our second class covering cards number 3 and 4. And in front of you right now is my ordering special for November. I'll just zoom in just so you can read it. So from November 1st to the 30th, when you use my host code here, which is RPA to WRB as in boy S, you can earn a class for free. So place an order on my website using the host code, and at $40 or above, you can receive 4 card kits, one of each of the designs you see in front of me. Any order placed of $60 or more will get the 4 individual card kits plus the journal kit, and the journal does come with that. And then any order of $150 or more, don't use the host code, so you can receive the Stampin' Rewards, which is free product from Stampin' Up. It's 15% of your product order above $150 and above. I'll still send you everything you see, 4 kits, the journal kit, and also a package of the Opal Rounds assortments, which are the embellishments I used last week. So we are working with one of a kind. Let me just go over that right now. These are the 2 cards that we made on Monday. We made this one first, and it says, sending a flurry of happy wishes. And I gotta zoom back out, I'm too close. All right, and portrait size card, and it's just got your Costa Cabana, the silver foil, basic white that's embossed with the Snowflake Sky 3D embossing folder. And you can see the little snowflakes right here. And then in the inside, I taught you how to do your 3rd generation stamping to create this nice little snowflake behind it, and then stamping on top of the snowflake there. So you have a nice little background, plus you have a really nice bold sentiment. Hope you have the merriest season ever. All right, so that was number 1. We used the stylish shaped circle. And this is a pretty easy card for any stamper. It teaches you how to dry emboss, to use your cutting die cuts, tying your bows, adding some embellishments. So super fun. And then we just stamped our envelope just with that nice little snowflakes stamp. And then number 2, we did a little bit of blending with our blending brushes. And so we had already die cut out the snowflake, which comes with the one-of-a-kind dies, and I'll show you those in just a second. Added a little bit of the background underneath with the ribbon here, and also use the iconic imagery die, sentiment die there, and the little swirly stamp that's in the set, along with some of those really pretty snowflakes that really, they stamp really nice, I have to say. And then I just did a little swirly on the inside, and then matched up the envelope as well. On the swirly on the inside, I did add some of the basic jewel, the rhinestones here. All right, so here's the stamp set. It's got some nice greetings. You can see it doesn't have any word of Christmas on it. So I think it's geared toward more of a winter theme, in the middle winter type of card giving. But you can create a Christmas card with this as well. Hope you have the merriest season ever would be a really good one. And also it could be a nice little thank you card as well. Sorry, I'm totally out of the screen there. I just looked at my laptop there, and half of it was cut off, but here you go. So we got 3 little snowflakes here, the large one, and your sentiments use that little swirly. You can also make tags with it too. You've got the to and the from sentiment. It's a photopolymer stamp set, so those are the clear stamps. I only have 2 left that aren't mounted, but those are the ones that you'll need a Stampin' Pierce mat on, because they're not our red rubber cling stamps. Here's the dies, and it comes in this little cute little folder. Usually we have the bigger ones, but this is like half the size of those. And again, it's called one of a kind dies, and here are the 2. Got a little bit of washi tape on there to help me die cut but there we go. Now you can see it entirely. And then I've got some little cardstock left over in there, but you can see we got a nice little snowflake die and the outline of one too. You can stamp and die cut, or you can just die cut out from your cardstock. So it makes it super easy either way. All right, so we're gonna get started. Let's see, do I have anything else to go over before? No, I don't think so. So we are going to work on, let's see, which card do I want to work on first? I think I'll work on this one here. It's lots of glitter on it. I had a little issue in my craft room yesterday, and I ran out of the silver foil sheets. So we don't make the silver glitter paper anymore, but I figured that would work just so you can kind of see what it would look like. And if you have silver glitter paper, I honestly think the glitter paper looks really, really nice. It captures and pulls off from the rhinestones and also the silver foil as well. On here, I had to leave, like, I was making 4 kits for my team who ordered the make and takes, but I ran out of the silver foil, ran out of the glitter paper, then I pulled in smoky slate. So if you don't have your glitter paper, your silver foil sheets, smoky slate looks just as nice as well. So just use whatever you have in your craft room. I 100% believe in that. So we'll get started with this one. I do need my little die cutting machine, which is over on my other desk. Didn't even think to bring it over, but when I get to it, I'll just run over and grab it. Okay, so we always have our basic white medium envelope. And we have a panel here, and here's that glitter paper. If it really bothers you, then I'll just turn it over, because I really have a hard time working with glitter paper. Just migraines really appear in my head a lot, so I even take a special medication for it. But this will cause me to have lots of like headaches. So, and I just coming over off of one for my COVID vaccine yesterday and my booster. So I'm a little under the weather today, but I wanted to come on live because these are really pretty cards to make. But anyway, we're gonna layer this piece on to that glitter paper there. This is our little piece for stamping. And then we've got 2 die cuts. I'm using the smoky slate so you can kind of see that. And I've got balmy blue. These are the stylish shaped circles. So one is bigger than the other. I've already die cut my little snowflake in the silver foil. You can see how nice it does die cut out. And if you add a little piece, if you, well, where's my wax paper? So either wax paper or dryer sheets work. So when I have a problem when things don't come out of my dies, I'll take my wax paper and I'll just rub it over like this. That way it gives a nice little coating there, and then your pieces that are left in the die there, actually, no, you won't have, you tend to have less pieces left in your die than you would normally. So you can use wax paper or our dryer sheets that you put in the dryer. So those are the 2 things that I use. I keep them in this little handy container right by my desk here, so I know where they are. And then you can see that I do have some pieces of, I think it's balmy blue that's left in there. So to get those out, all you really need to do is just take your piercing tool, whatever you have, and just poke those out like this. They just come right out. But it will die cut pretty good. I've really never had any issues with this die not cutting. Just remember, try to keep it as clean as you can, but don't worry if you get little pieces left in there. It's not going to harm anything. I'm using your basic white card base. It's the thick basic white. I use thick on my cards all the time. If it's white, 5.5 and is 8.5 by, wait a minute, 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. So we're making a horizontal card. I'm going to do some stamping first, and then we will assemble the cards. So to stamp, we will need What's the inside? I totally forgot. Oh, we're going to do that second generation, or actually third generation stamping. So I will need my card base, my sentiment, balmy blue, my little scrap here, and I think, is that it? Yes, I think that's, oh, my envelope too. So I think that is everything I need, quite a bit actually. I'm gonna put the rest over to the side of me. Let me grab my Stampin' Pierce mat. And then I'm gonna, since my envelope is right here, I'm going to start with my envelope. But one thing I want to show you is I noticed today when Debbie was here working that one of the ink pads she was using was a little bit light in color. So I'm going to show you how I use the ink refills to refill your ink pad. I definitely don't want my, I definitely do not want that underneath. So I'm going to just grab a piece of paper towel just in case I make a huge accident. But what I do, protect my work surface, and then I'll open this up. Usually what I'll do is if I have lots of ink, like in the tray here, I'll clean it out with like a baby wipe or what have you, or just kind of just clean it up around the sides. I shake up my refill, and we'll take off the cap. And then I just go around and put dots like this. And it's pretty dry, you can tell, because it's automatically, like, once it hits, it's getting absorbed by the pad there. So you can see that. There's a little bit left over, but I'm gonna just put a couple more drops in the middle, because we tend to stamp in the middle of our ink pads, so that's where you'll lose a lot of the ink. And then our next step is just I usually take a bone folder. You can see this is the color I used today, Night of Navy, and I just kind of take my bone folder and just go right across. I'm right-handed, so right to left, and then I'll rotate it, and I'll keep doing this until I get all the way around. I just want to move that ink throughout the ink pad here. You can actually see, or I can see, where it's a little bit lighter here. So I might need a little bit more ink in there. I'm not quite sure. And then I'll take this paper towel, and I'm just going to just kind of clean off the bone folder there. You can also test it as well. So let's test it with that large snowflake. Let me grab a piece of scrap. This is the stamp here that you want to make sure you have a really nice juicy ink pad, because it's pretty solid. You don't want to over ink it like I may have done. So let's see how this comes out. We might stamp a couple times there. Oh no, that almost looks good. Right here on the left side, I can see some white over here, where this is pretty solid on this side. So let me just stamp again. I just want to make sure I get a really good image. I'm really putting the same pressure all the way around. Yeah, so it does look like maybe the left side of this ink pad needs a little bit more ink. So let me just grab my refill, and I will just, yeah, look at that. It gets absorbed so quickly. So definitely need a little bit of additional ink there. That should be good. I'm hoping it's good, because that's quite a bit of ink I put on there, but I don't really keep track of when I refill the ink in the pads. I just kind of go by stamping. And some inks I don't use for such a long time, and sometimes they will dry out over time a little bit, and you might have to re-ink them, and sometimes they're perfectly fine. Okay, so I'm gonna just stamp one more time and see what we get. I'm still kind of doing it. Can you kind of see that now, where it's like a ombre effect almost? It's really dark on this side, and then it gets lighter All right, let's put a little bit more in here. This is crazy. I've never really had to put this much ink, but I have used Balmy Blue a lot lately, so maybe that's the reason why. But we'll call it good after that. You guys will get the idea. I gotta run and actually shut my heater off in my craft room. It's a little warm in here, so while that's sitting, I'm gonna just run over there and I'll grab my mini cut and emboss machine too. I'm looking for my mini cut and emboss machine. I don't even know where my plates are. This could be really interesting. Let me just look one more time. All right, I got them. They were hidden, but I have them. They're all rubber band together, so I can't lose them, right? Okay, I'm not going to worry about this anymore. Let me just put that in a recycle bin, and we'll carry on with our class. So we will need the Snowflake inked up with our Balmy Blue, and I'm just going to ink it right on that scrap piece. Okay, that looks a little bit better. I think over time it will the ink will just get to where it needs to go. And then it will stamp a little bit better, but that'll be okay. So now I just used the first generation stamping, and now I've got second generation ink on here. So let me grab another piece. Actually, I'll just grab that one I put in this recycle bin. So that, on this time, that's the second generation. Sometimes you need to go to third generation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use second generation on that background because it looks like it is pretty good at second generation. A lot of times you just have to figure it out, especially when you just rate ink. Okay, so that's the shade I want. See how light that is for the Balmy Blue. And then we're going to take our message stamp, which is, you are one of a kind, wonderful friend. So let me just find that over to the side here. Here we go. And I just want this full strength Balmy Blue. So I've got that right in the middle. Doesn't that look really nice with that little background of Snowflake? And then you've got your message on top of it. And then, so we've got this and our envelope. And we need our little message. So we've got a 1/2 inch strip by, I think this is 4 inches across by 1/2 inch tall. And then I've got this little message here. It says, thank you for your kindness. I'm going to stamp this kind of in the middle. It doesn't really matter where. We're going to cut this down anyway. And it's, I think this is a really cute font. I don't know if you have this set or not, but I really like the capital letters. I love how it stamps, and I like how tiny it is too. All right, so that's stamped that. Oh, wait a minute. We got to stamp our snowflakes. So we do have our Balmy Blue here. And this is our stylish shaped circles. I'm going to take we've got 3 different snowflake stamps, all different sizes. So I'm going to start with the largest one, and then I'm randomly going to stamp 3 all the way around. And then I'll grab the medium size and 3 here. Doesn't matter where. Oops. Some of it will be cut, some of it will be covered up with our sentiment strip, but don't worry about that. We never really know until we actually add it to the card. So get that stamped. You don't want a lot of blue, Balmy Blue space. You do want to get quite a bit of it stamped over with our snowflake. It's kind of like creating your own designer paper. Okay, I think that's pretty good, so we'll go with that. And I believe that is all we have for this one. So I'm going to close up. Oh man, I just made a mess. I'm going to close up that ink pad and try not to make a mess, but that kind of happens once in a while. All right, I'm going to grab my silicone craft sheet, and that way I'm going to protect my work surface from any adhesive I get on it. Here's our example. We'll put that right in front of us. So we will take our basic white panel and we're going to attach it to the glitter paper. Again, silver foil sheets is what we sell, and I do not have any of those. I ran out, so I grabbed the next best thing, which is some leftover glimmer. I think it's glimmer paper. It's not glitter paper. Glimmer paper. And we're just going to have a really small hint of the glimmer paper behind it. So that is going to set off all the silver that we're going to be putting on top of the card. And then this you can add to the card front with Stampin' Dimensionals or your adhesive. I'm just going to be using my adhesive. We'll double check that we're opening up the card correctly and not putting it on upside down. And then we'll center this right on top of the card front. And the size of the glimmer paper is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. And then the white is 5 by 3 3/4. Now we can either take our paper snips or trimmer. It doesn't really matter. You're going to find both circles. And I'm going to use my paper trimmer since it's right over here. We're going to cut those circles right in half. So just put this right in your trimmer. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Just try to get it as in the middle if you can. And then this is my scoring blade. We don't want that one. We want the darker blade. Again, it doesn't have to be 100% accurate. We just want to cut it in half. And then we're going to cut this one in half as well. And this is smoky slate. Normally I would have used the silver foil. All right, that's it for our trimmer. And now we're just going to, let's bring in our silicone craft sheet here. We're going to take the balmy blue stamped circles and adhere those to the smoky slate. And make sure when you're doing this, the smooth side of the die cut cardstock is facing you. I'm not putting it close to the edge because I'm sure this was not cut exactly in half. What I was doing is looking at the border here on the smoky slate. And I'll do the same thing. Make sure your smooth side is facing you, and then just adhere this right in and smooth it right down. Now bring in your card, and then we're going to adhere these to the card front. It's like a half moon, I guess. Going to put it about here, half of an inch at the top and the left side. And then we're going to take this piece and we're just going to move it over a little bit. It doesn't matter that this piece here isn't straight because your sentiment strip is going to be covering all of this. So don't worry about that. And I'm going to move it over about maybe 3/4 of an inch to the right. And now we're going to trim down the sentiment strip. What I'm looking for is the word thank, and I want to bring it way over to the left side. So that means I'm going to need to cut off a little bit. I also want it lined up with the edge of the white here. So probably about 1/4 of an inch I'm going to trim off of my paper snips. Again, you could use your trimmer if you would like. And I'm going to double check, make sure this is enough. it could come over just a little bit more. So let me just take another 1/4 of an inch off. And then we'll add our seal on the back side. And we're going to cover up the seam. Again, this white is right at the edge of the white. Okay, so far so good, right? Next step is we're going to die cut the snowflake. So I'll need my mini cut and emboss machine for that. And then the plates you want to use are number 1, which is our die cut plate. It's white. And then you want 2 of the acrylic plates. Mine are very loved. If you can see all those little scratches there, but don't worry, it's not gonna cause anything to happen with your paper. I grab my cardstock that's stamped, and then my die. This is where you're gonna want a little piece of washi tape or any kind of sticky tape, painter's tape that does come off without ripping the cardstock. I'm going to line up this little die, and I'm looking at the little round circles there. Once I get one in place, then I can move the bottom one in place. Just double check all the way around at those little circles, and it looks pretty good. So I'm going to choose that. Add my acrylic plate to the top, make our little sandwich, push it in here, and then that handle just moved, and I'm going to transition my hands over so that one is kind of pumping that handle and the other one's just holding the die cutting machine in place. We're all done, so I'm going to just take this and close it up, move it on my other desk, and then we'll see what we die cut here. Pretty good, not too bad on camera. Sometimes it's a little hard to get those die cut exactly the way you want them to when you're on live, but there's no editing on a live, that's for sure. Okay, so we'll bring this one back in. Let's protect my work surface again. And I'm going to pop this one up. Actually, both of them are going to get popped up with their dimensionals. So let me just grab some pieces here. I'm using some leftover edge pieces. All right, and then I'm going to adhere this one first. You could do it 2 ways. You could adhere the snowflakes together, then put it on the card, but I am going to add this one to the card front first, and then the other snowflake. So I'm going to cover up this area over here. I'm looking at the word kindness, so I'm not cutting it off with the snowflake. Looks pretty straight. And now this one here, I want to find our regulars, kind of the rounder dimensionals. And I'm going to add one to the back side of the snowflake. And then I'll take that backing off carefully. And then I'm going to add this one to the snowflake. Now some of you might be saying, hey, you're going to see that dimensional right there. But no, you're not, because I'm going to use one of our basic jewel rhinestones, the largest one, and we'll cover that up. I want a little bit of dimension. I want those snowflakes off of each other so they look like you can see them a lot better. All right, my rhinestones are someplace on my desk right there. I've got a few of the large ones left, but not too many. So let me grab one of the largest ones. These come in 3 different sizes. So the large one's going to go here. And then I'm just going to randomly put 3. I'm not going to count that one that's on here, but I'll put 2 down there and then 1 up at the top. And there is our first card, or card number 3 from our carrying on from Monday's class. So that is our one we just made. Here's our sample card, and then on the inside we've got our background of snowflake, and then this one as well. You can see how darker the sentiment is stamped on this one because we re-inked our ink pad. So when they start getting light, don't forget to do that. You can kind of see on this one too, underneath here, the snowflake is not as dark as this one right here. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments. And if not, I'm going to we'll move on to card number 4 in our card series of 1, 2, 3, and 4 cards. Oh, wow, we got some comments here. So let's check and see if I fell down my steps 2 days ago. Bumps and bruises. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Carla. Oh, geez. Me too, and I yelled. Cats. Oh, it was the cat. Oh, geez. Oh, they're always getting in the way. Okay, so no questions, and we will move on to card number 4. And today I did change this one up just a little bit, and I think it made a huge difference. So here is my sample card here. It's Misty Moonlight and Pool Party together with our basic white and our silver. And on this one is the one I tested my instruction sheets. I didn't have the foil, so I used the smoky slate. But let me zoom in so you can see this. I put a dimensional underneath this snowflake, which we just did on the other card, and you can totally see the difference. How this one is popped up. You can see the Misty Moonlight underneath it too. And then this one is like flat. I just didn't like that. It just felt like it was a little too boring. Like, should I have dry embossed the pool party? But just by popping it up, it's made a huge difference in the appearance of the snowflake. So we'll do that one today. Let me zoom back out and we'll move on here. So let's grab my kit. This one's got a few pieces, and I'll have to try to tie a bow on camera. We'll see how that all goes. Our card or our envelope will need stamping. It's a portrait card, so on the inside I use snowflakes, so we'll need that. Our sentiment and our pool party, and I didn't use the back side or the I'm gonna have to do that because I want to get these stamped. I just one of those things, like I have to do it or else it drives me crazy if I don't stamp the back side, because then I have to take my ink pads back out and re-ink. So since I've got this, I am going to take my Misty Moonlight. We have a new background stamp and I have it. I ordered it and it should be coming tomorrow in my delivery. So my next cards I'll be making, I will have the new one and I'll show it to you as well. Some really nice sayings in that one. Okay, so this is going to be portraits. So this is the one we're going to be using. And then I think I'm just, oh, this is the one that didn't get stamped. We just made this one, so let me just grab this. And I was just gonna go through the backs of these to make sure they're all stamped. I could do this off camera, but I'm just gonna take my time to do it now. Okay, those are all good. All right, we need our pool party. We're gonna stamp on this one, our sentiment. This comes from Something Fancy Labels. And I'm just going to add this. Why don't I just stamp the sentiment right now? We're using the same one, so let me find that one. You're one of a kind friend. And also we're using Misty Moonlight ink. And then this just gets stamped right down. Wow, that's really deep and dark. I'm glad I did re-ink that one. I did that one off camera, so that looks fabulous. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to clean up my stamps, and then the snowflake stamps, the small ones, and then I'm going to reposition them on a C block. And the reason why I'm doing that is because it's going to take less time to stamp that pool party panel than if I just did it individually. So we'll be stamping 3 at the same time versus 1. Whoa, that was close from getting that right in my ink pad. If you have any questions, please let me know. These are my Teams make and takes for next week's meeting. We'll be meeting on Zoom. It's always a fun time. Okay, so pool party. You're going to want something behind it because you're going to be stamping off the edge. So now I'm going to take these 3 stamps. Don't you hate that when oh, there it is. It's such a tiny stamp. I couldn't find it. My eyes couldn't find it. All right, so I got those all off. Those were on A blocks. And now I'm going to take them and flip them over so the flat side is facing me, and I'll just make it kind of like that. And then I'm going to put it on. This is actually a C block. I think I called it B, but it is a C. And I'm going to randomly stamp. So we'll just pull this in and just keep stamping all the way around, filling in. You don't want the same pattern, so it's okay to kind of go in the middle. Some of it on the middle will be covered up, but that's okay. We'd rather have a nice background of snowflakes than too much of the pool party showing. We want to get that misty moonlight snowflake appearing on all of the paper, even the edges. So don't forget to do that. You can stamp off the edge. Okay, let me just put one over here and something over here. There. Okay, so that is all done. We'll set that one aside. We'll pull in our envelope, and I'm going to use the snowflakes once again, and I'm just going to stamp right down here. And then the same thing on our white panel. There. I believe that is everything for stamping. If not, we'll go back to it. All right, so we'll find our Misty Moonlight panel. I am just arranging my desk so I can actually focus here. I've got way too much going on here. All right, I've got my foil paper. And then this is going to get adhered right down to the foil. The foil's 4 by 5 1/4, and then this one here is 3 3/4 by 5. All right, and now this one gets adhered right to the card front. I'm not using dimensionals. Oh, this is almost out. It's out. Let me just transition over to my liquid glue. You could pop this one up, but I would not recommend it because your focal point is already going to be popped up. You don't want it too high so it doesn't fit in your card. So make sure you leave room on your card so it actually fits in your envelope. All right, next are these 2 pieces, or 3 pieces actually. So we've got our Misty Moonlight, which is 3x4, and then this one is the pool party. I've already die cut the snowflake out, and it's 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and it's going to get adhered right onto that Misty Moonlight. I'm just going to go a little close around that snowflake area. And this gets adhered right on. I'm not going to put the snowflake on yet. I want to work with that ribbon. So I like to put my dimensionals on first. And then I like to get the backings off before I add the ribbon on. By using my silicone craft sheet here, I don't have to worry about it sticking to my desk. Nothing will stick on that. Now I have my ribbon. This is the sheer ribbon. It's got the silver on the edge. It's 1/2 inch. And I'm pretty sure I have way too much, but we can cut it down. I can use a scrap for something else. But I've got it wrapped to the back side here. And now I'm going to add it to the front. This way, that panel is stuck and I can move my ribbon freely. And now I can create that bow on the left side. And I'm going to just tie a knot, just because for me it's easier. It's amazing, it got so quiet in my craft room. I wonder why. I'm focusing on this darn bow. There, it's good enough. Not too bad. And let's grab my ribbon scissors. We'll trim this off. You can add a glue dot underneath that knot if you would like. I'm not going to worry about that because our sentiment is going to kind of secure this down anyway. So we'll grab that and 4 dimensionals on this one. I really feel off. That booster got me. Hopefully tomorrow I won't feel so like, I feel like I'm coming down with a flu or something. That happened last time when I had my booster shot. So hopefully tomorrow will be better. All right, we're going to slip this underneath here. Try to get it centered if you can. It's no worries if you don't because we've got that bow over here. And now we'll grab this little snowflake and you can see there's little pieces left in there. So I'm just going to use my piercing tool to poke those out. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to find a dimensional and we'll put one right on the middle there. And then peel it off. And you can see that dimensional is right there. It's a little sticky, but that's okay. You can see it, but don't worry about it because we'll grab it on one of those larger rhinestones and cover that up. So this is just going to go right over top of where it was cut out. And can you see, like, you can totally see the Misty Moonlight underneath the snowflake. It's kind of popping up and it looks so much better than just flat down on the card. You can curl this up if you want. Wink Castella too. I didn't even think of putting Wink Castella on there, but we could do that. I'm gonna grab my large rhinestone. Let that sit there for a second. I'm gonna grab the inside panel. We're almost done. Since I have no more silver foil left, my team Make and Takes 4 ordered them, so you are the lucky 4 that are getting them. And they will go out tomorrow. And they'll be there at your house before our team meeting next week. All right, so let's finish up with our rhinestones. I'm going to add 3. Even though I have one there, I'm not going to count it. And I have a million of these little ones left, so I'm going to use up some of the really small ones. Right. There. Okay. So that's cards 3 and 4. We'll put them out in front of you just in 1 second here. So here's this one. And then this one. Actually, let me find the ones that have the foil because that's the true look. This one and this one. Okay, see if we can fit these all in the camera. Zoom back out. We've got 2 portrait size and 2 horizontal cards. There you go. So we just used the one-of-a-kind bundle. Comes with 2 dies and a lot of stamps. And it makes your winter themed cards. Let me check and see if you have any questions or comments or anything like that. Nope, doesn't look like it. So we are all set. Again, my monthly special, this one for this month of November is my class I gave you guys last week, and it uses the Winter Meadows designer paper. It runs through November 30th with the host code of RPA2WRBS, and you can order at inspiredbygraham.com. An order of $40 or more using the host code will get you 4 card kits as shown above. And then an order of $60 or more using the host code will get you the 4 kits plus the journal kit, and the journal comes with that. And then an order of $150 or more, don't use your host code. You'll earn 15% of Stampin' rewards or 10%. 10%, I'm so sorry, of Stampin' rewards for Stampin' Up, and I'll send you everything plus a pack of the Opal Rounds assortments, which are the embellishments of choice for that class. So I hope you guys have a great evening, a great week, or rest of the week, and I will have a pre-recorded video on Friday for you. So take care and be well, and I don't know, have a